And I think for families, you know, I'm a parent of 2 teenagers, and the reason why I got into this was that there could be more great, good entertainment on television for my own family and for others. My biggest advice I'd ask you to think about is kind of in 3 areas for making a difference that starts within your own family in this. First of all is don't settle. Don't accept this lie that you've got to choose between great entertainment and good entertainment. You've got to choose between great movies, great television, great books that are going to be entertaining, or you've got to choose stuff that's going to be healthy and honor God. That you can have the great and good together, and don't settle for less. That's one. The second is, I would just say as parents, you need to really engage. Stay engaged and involved in your family's entertainment choices. I know for a long time, my kids are a little bit older now, but for a long time, I was copied on every iTunes purchase they made. And I would regularly pull up lyrics and just talk to them about, hey, here's why that song's appropriate, here's why it's not, that kind of thing. You need to kind of really stay engaged on the choices that they're making. And you know your kids better than anybody else. The same choice might not be appropriate for each child. You're going to need to make that decision as a parent. But it takes work to stay engaged, but you need to, because you need to know that these storytellers are parenting your children. They are training your children. These stories teach lessons like nothing else, and you cannot leave that whole part to developing your children to people that you don't know, and you don't know what messages they're sending. But it takes some work. I know, like for instance, my daughter, was about a year ago, I remember she was reading The Fault in Our Stars. And I just heard a little bit about the book, so I just committed myself, I'm going to read that book last summer. I read it, and I was able to engage with her on that. I was able to talk to her about, hey, here's what I think is absolutely brilliant in that book. Here's what's so cool about the book. And you know what? Also? Here's this other kind of message that's coming through in that book that I just don't think that's kind of the right message, and here's why. And we were able to engage on that. You've got to stay engaged in the stories that your kids are being exposed to. And then the last thing I would say, you know, it's coming up on Christmas, is even get strategic about exposing your kids to the stories you want to. I always say with parents, you should be engaged in strategic gift giving. And I know with my kids, every Christmas, when they were younger, I would try to make sure absolutely were they getting some gift that was just going to flat out delight them, because it was just a gift that they had their heart set on they wanted. I wanted to make sure I did that. But I also wanted to make sure they got a gift that addressed them physically in some way. I wanted to get them a gift that addressed them spiritually in some way, and I wanted to get them a gift that addressed them mentally in some way. And often that mental piece was a book or a story that I felt was great good, that was going to entertain them but also teach them something. I think we have a chance with our gift giving to be strategic in the stories that we're exposing our kids to.